Hello, Benjies. Welcome to BingeWorthy, part of the Geekish Network. This is a show where we binge a show for you in a week and come back and tell you if you should binge it. I'm your host, Chuck, and with me we have Courtney.
Hello, hello.
And we have Rakai.
Hello, Governor.
If you're audience member to our show and you're watching our show, you can communicate in the chat and we will respond back to you if you have any questions about the show. We're going to spoil the hell out of this show because that's what we do well here. We do that very, very well. And today we will let you know if Amazon Prime's free Primo is worth binging. Rodney, can you please display everyone's rating? Uh-oh, it's going to be intense. Drum roll.
Is it?
I think so. It may be. Oh, it's all of us up there. I see all of us up in the corner now.
Oh, wait. Which one? Who gave the full meal?
Oh, somebody binge-worthy for me. That was me. I gave it the full meal.
Oh, okay.
Full meal. Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
That's okay.
So currently that sets us at 11 divided by 3. That's a full meal, I think.
Okay.
Yep. So I guess we'll start out. Courtney, tell me what you really thought about the show. What made you
So here's the thing. When you brought it up, I was like, oh God, I want to watch this show. I hate sitcoms, which is so funny because I write sitcoms. But the thing is that I write sitcoms from the perspective of the thing that I think is really what brings out the most humor, which are families. I think what happens innately in families are just hilarious shenanigans. But a lot of times they overdo it on like mainstream, like primetime sitcoms, like, basically any sitcom, with the exception of like Modern Family. I loved Modern Family because it was so rooted in actual comedy, things that were like, nonsensical, but yet every family member would react the same way. So that's why I ultimately, when I started watching this, I loved that it was, number one, I think it was single cam. And yeah. I always love that.
Yes.
Because it's just rooted in authenticity. It's like you're following this person's journey. Okay. So I was pleasantly surprised and really enjoyed it.
But Kyle, what made you want to give it a full meal? Don't spoil too much, but what made you want to give it a full meal? I'm curious.
I mean, well, I didn't give it a full meal.
BingeWorthy. But both of y'all gave it. I got it all wrong. My fault.
And just for the record, 11 divided by 3 is 3.67. So rounding it up, you're right. It is a full meal. I think for me, I agree with everything that Courtney just said. I love sitcoms. I love comedy. What I liked about this particular comedy is that, especially Courtney's right, that you get the funniest interactions in families. The writing to me in this was not contrived. It was very relatable. And I could look at the brothers and people in this family as people in my own family. Like, they reminded me of people that I've been around. They reminded me of that. And I thought that the writing wasn't forced. A lot of sitcoms, like it's almost like they look for the setup.
Like Family Matters, right? Or like the old school.
Instead of writing dialogue and let the funny fall where it may.
Yeah, agreed.
That was what I enjoyed about this. It gave me something I hadn't seen before. It wasn't the fact that it was a Latino family. That was great to see. And I've seen other sitcoms that had majority Latino families, Latino casts. But the dynamic of the sister and all of her brothers trying to take care of one son, their whole family dynamic, I found very humorous. And then how he dealt with his friends and things like it was a nice coming of age story.
Okay, let me dive in because people have no idea what the hell we're talking about. It actually, Rakai, it's a 4.66 because BingeWorthy is a 5.4.
Uh-huh.
So you got a BingeWorthy. You said full meal.
You said full meal too.
I did. Let me correct myself. I meant BingeWorthy. Sorry.
Okay.
It's been a.
I love that y'all doing math and competing for math. Let the audience know I am never going to jump in on a math question. I am an actor. I am a creative. I don't math well. So whatever they say, I'm like, okay.
Okay, but Primo is an American sitcom created by Shea Serrano, the semi-autobiographical series co-executive produced with Michael. For y'all that don't know who Shea Serrano is, he's part of The Ringer. He's part of Grantland as well. He also wrote a couple of books, the Rap Yearbook, Basketball, and Other Things, and he has movies and other things. So he's wrote a couple of books. They've all awarded books, and he decided to talk about his own life. And for Michael Schur, if y'all don't know who Michael Schur is, he's the guy that's behind The Office, Parks and Rec, The Good Place, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought us this show. The show is about Serrano's upbringing in San Antonio, Texas. Primo stars Ignacio Diaz Silvero, Christina Vidal, Carlos Santos, Henry Esteve, John Ray Diaz, Jonathan Medina, Ephraim Villa, Stakia Washington, Martin Martinez, and Nigel Sebasi. There are 8 30-minute episodes shot with a single camera, as Courtney mentioned, that all debuted on May 19, 2023. So they didn't do the normal Amazon thing. They actually dropped all the episodes at one time.
Netflix style.
Yes. We'll go into the characters. The show is based on Shea Serrano. Are y'all familiar with Shea at all? His and whatnot. Yeah, he's funny.
He is.
He's a funny person. So it's interesting that he got a show, and it's like I can see him being this kid. I can see him being Raja. You know what I'm saying? Rafa. I can see him being Rafa. Courtney, what'd you think of the writing? Since you are a writer and you like sitcoms, you may mention that they did something really well. What'd you think of the writing for all the characters in this? Can't hear you. You're muted. You muted yourself.
Hello.
Okay.
So I think that the writing was absolutely fantastic because, like Rakai said, it was just born out of natural conversation. And that is the most fluid way of storytelling. And like, in my opinion, like the stories, the things that would happen. Like one of my favorite episodes was the cookout when they didn't want to tell her that she couldn't cook, which was so funny because she was clowning people like, you're gonna taste this, like having taste tests, and then like shushing, like throwing people away because they didn't vote right. You know, but here it is, like this beautiful thing that these brothers did, which was the one female in the family who was there, like really taking care of them and supporting them while their mother was working. They didn't want to hurt her. They didn't want to break her heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned into them fixing all her cooking and all her crazy recipes. That some of them had me gagging.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, I was like, what was it? Her recipe for like, was it guacamole? It was something.
Something totally awful. Like what?
It was something mundane that she added weird to.
Yeah, tuna fish to it or something. Like she had all kinds of crazy stuff in it. Like
she was like, I know it sounds crazy, but they love it.
And all this time,
all that time, and it was just like, I thought the writing was really smart, and no one overacted. You know, I know we're not talking about acting, but like to deliver perfection, it was just subtle, and I loved it.
Yeah, I was gonna get to acting, but I'm glad you talked about it. You said no one overacted. But Kyle, what'd you think of the writing and acting?
I thought that again, I echo Courtney. I thought that the writing was really good. It was like what it reminded me of was there was when I first came to Lexington to visit, the family had a family cookout.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened that on my mom's like second cousin or something like that, Elle Givens is related to that side of the family. So she's not related to me, but she's related to our family some kind of way. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So she showed up to this cookout, to this barbecue in the summer. Now, her being a comedian, and this is before she was, queen of comedy, but her being a comedian, she was well known, respected comedian in the black neighborhood. She
Mm-hmm.
showed up and everyone, all the people pressed her about being funny. It's like, they wanted to put her and make her perform for everybody. And she sat around and she ate food and had small conversations, but she really didn't talk. And she sat back and observed. And I remember someone saying to me, why is she talking? Why is she being funny? I thought she was funny. I said, where do you think she gets her
Exactly.
ammunition from?
This is
She
a
is
character
sitting around
study.
watching all you fools watch her next special and watch this cookout don't come up in her next special. She is writing her next show right now because y'all are idiots. And that's what I felt about this show about Primo. It's almost like if you took real life situations and somebody sat back with a camera and just filmed all the interactions and filmed all the dialogue, and it's like, hey, we don't have to write this show. It's all right. It's already right here. That's what this show felt like. It felt natural,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I liked it. And as Courtney so succinctly put it, they didn't overact. I saw actual people I know in each one of the brothers, the friends. Like I saw people I know, and I was like, this is fantastic.
Even the brother who was like the wise one who was kind of homeless, even when they took him to his like flea market, even when he went to the flea market with his like anatomy carvings, like I mean, it was just ridiculous.
The great
He just peed on him after his brother like egged him on, like you got to do something. You can't let him like punk you like this. Like it was just so fantastic.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. We'll talk about the brothers. We'll get to the brothers. I thought it was well written too. Um, all the situations felt natural. Nothing was slapsticky about it. It was just conversation and how they end up in situations due to conversation. Uh, I thought the brothers had very little in common outside of Rafa and his mom, Drea. And I wish they had more in common. And that's something I was looking for. I wish they had more in common now. Like there's that one thing that brought them together besides their sister and their nephew. Because the older brother, the eldest brother,
Yeah.
Jay had a whole entire family.
He had a whole family that we rarely saw. We met his wife once. Did we even see his daughter?
No, we didn't see neither one. He had two daughters, right? He has two of them.
I think I was just like, we never saw them. We met his wife at one of the cookout, one of the parties.
Yeah.
Oh, for the birthday. Oh, his graduation, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was the very last episode we met her.
But I was like, they didn't have the kids there.
Oh, wait a minute. We did meet his wife and his daughters. They never introduced them as his wife and his daughters at the cookout when they would taste test.
Yes, it was the wife was one of the people she asked to taste test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, this man had a whole entire family we didn't get to really meet and hang out with.
I know. They just centered it around the family. They were like, we want you to fall in love with this family, and then season 2 we'll bring in a host of new people.
Mm-hmm. You brought up the single camera. I thought that was very impressive. They did a single cam in a sitcom because a lot of sitcoms don't do that. They like the cutaway camera and the fake audience applause
and the bright look. They want it to be bright and shiny, you know.
And this didn't have that.
I mean, it didn't need, because here's the thing: like this is a normal everyday family. So if it had been like bright and spectacular and they were perfect and her eyes were like so always done and her hair was always slayed, like if it had been her, this like perfect beauty queen, it wouldn't have like worked. You know what I mean? Like it would have felt fake. And I love just like the natural insight or scope into this family and their life that a single cam can provide. Like it just kind of gives you like, it's like you're watching through like through people, you know what I mean? Like it's a quick peek of these people's lives.
Not only that, I think for me, I love in the single cam look, I love the fact that it was not shot. It looks like it was naturally shot around the neighborhood. Like they picked up camera and shot the neighborhood. We stopped by this house. You shot it, you shot it in their real living room, in their real kitchen or whatever, instead of being on a set. And I appreciated that so much about it too.
Yeah.
What y'all think of Rafa's friends, Miguel and Harris? His two guy friends he had.
Miguel is the one that got caught because Rafa stole a candy bar, right? That was Miguel. I think we really only got to know Miguel through that episode. The other ones, they're kind of there, like Harris, like we see them when they go to the carnival, and he's carrying around the busted dog. Harris was carrying around the busted dog because because he thought it was a babe magnet to make people think that like he won something and the dog had like one eye or something. It was all dirty. It's just like ridiculous. I thought they complimented him well. Like I thought that the three of them fit well together. You had your like Miguel seemed like he was kind of like the tough boy, like maybe a jock. You know what I mean? He had that energy of like he could have been if he was that kid. He probably would have been really good at some sport, but he was just kind of like, like I'm just that guy. He was the kid that everybody wants to be friends with. And Harris was kind of like the nerd that they probably have all been friends since like the first grade. And Rafa is just a really smart, like kind of quiet kid that is just a great friend. So I thought that they really all worked well together.
I like how Miguel would egg Harris on to do his wild antics. Like he's gonna do it, and it's not gonna work for him. He's gonna do it. He's that friend.
Yeah.
I know that friend. I'm not saying who it is. I know that friend.
Are you trying to like name somebody without naming them? Who are you pointing
to? Myself, probably. Maybe myself.
I mean, in the high school years or in your college? Because that's probably Centel in college, yeah.
My whole entire life.
Huh?
I've been consistent my whole entire life. I've been consistent. Like he's really gonna do this. He's really gonna try to pull this off. It ain't gonna work for him, and it will work. Like I told y'all, this works. It works. But it was fun. I really enjoyed the friends, and then they gave him a love interest. Rafa love Mia, and I liked her. I liked her a lot because she set his ass up with her dad.
She was a really lovely, like the energy she brought to the show, I thought was very charming, very just regular girl next door, who was really kind of smart and edgy. She had some swag to her, and I appreciated that. I just wanted her to have a better wig. That's not her fault. I blame the production this is what happens when you don't have Black stylists in the chair or somebody who knows how to do Black hair, because there is no reason that she should have looked like that, and I'm mad. She did lovely work.
Now I will say this, and this is not in her defense, because I wholeheartedly agree that her game was not on point. But seeing some pictures of her, because once I saw
you looked her up and you saw she's capable.
Not only that, because you're right, she had great energy. And I know she had to have went in and crushed her audition, because to me, it's not a gripe, but it was the one thing that didn't fit. She had great energy, everything was about her. But to me, like looking at Rafa and them, and I know that in acting, you get 19, 20-year-olds to play 15, 16-year-olds. But when I looked at her, I was like, how old is she? Like, is that what we doing? Is this when you put full force in high school with Kid and Play, and you put John Travolta and them, and you know, try to convince us that they had Rydell High. Get the hell out of here, you know. And I was like, there's no way. Cause Rafa looked his age, and I know that he's older than what he portrays on the show, but he looked his age. So I was like, you know, even when they got to that pivotal scene at the end of the show, I was like,
That
there's
was
no way
such a
he's
good
not gonna
scene.
let them kiss because he's got to be underage and she's clearly overage. But I think it was her edges. Her edges on
Yeah.
the TV bothered me to a point, and in some of her actual pictures, like on IMDb, she got them same edges. So that's not just somebody in the stylist chair. That is a choice. That's
Well,
she
here's the
lives.
thing. I looked at some of her pictures and her hair was like it was
It was better.
together.
It was
It was
better.
better. But here's the thing is that like
Oh,
and I don't again, I don't like you. I don't know how old she is, but I think it comes down to having the purchase as an artist to say I'm not comfortable and you know what I mean and know that the team will listen to you because there are a couple times when I've been on set and I'm like I would not. They're like, how do you feel? I don't this isn't my favorite, you know what I mean? Like there are ways that I would say like, you know, like I just don't feel my best in this outfit, and they would be like, okay, great, we'll get you, we got 3 other dresses here for you to try on, you know what I mean? And it's really, and it's hard as an actor, especially as an actor of color, you know, it's challenging, but I
she was
encourage
one of the
people
few
to
people
speak
ever
up.
on set. So yeah, I mean I get it, and I'm sure
You
that
know,
some
we looking in that mirror, that's my face on that screen, because at the end of the day when I leave this makeup chair and they take my picture, that's on me.
yeah, and I'm
People
sure that
looking at me like, even though it's not on me, that's what the audience is like, why didn't she fix her hair?
Hold on.
What?
Mark came in and said those edges were a choice, and it's Kanye voice.
What do you say? It was a choice for what?
Choice. He said those edges were a choice.
when I said that her edges was a choice, he said in the Kanye voice, like,
Voice. The
hey,
edges were a choice.
listen, hey, she got some
But
serious edges. Like I had to look it up. Like she graduated college. She graduated from SMU's fine acting school last year. So, you know, you graduate in college at least 22. So she got to be
yeah.
about 23 or so. But I was just like, yeah, I mean, but like I said, again, she must have walked into the audition and crushed it because, you
Yeah.
know, regardless of little nitpicky things,
Oh, these are
she
totally nitpicky.
did
It wasn't
have,
on her. This isn't on her. She did
yeah,
wonderful work, and
yeah,
everything that
she
she did
absolutely did.
was charming, and it was on brand for her character.
Mhm.
Like I think the episode where they were with her uncle working at the
Yeah,
construction site, and she was good with all the things. You know what I mean? And Rafa had no idea what he was doing.
No idea.
yeah,
No
he ain't been
idea.
in 5 minutes and he's complaining about how hot it is outside, and it's like,
Yeah, meanwhile,
bro,
she's the army brat who, you know, never wants to make friends because she's always moving,
Even.
you know? So she was really connectable. I think that's, you know, I'm not trying to nitpick another Black actor. I thought she's lovely.
Yeah.
I think because I want them to set her up for like 100% success. She deserves that. The work she gave was 125. So she should be supported 125.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, in the other project that she's been in, she looked a lot better, and I think it might just been someone who, like you said, did not understand and said, well, you know, a 16-year-old would not look this way and look that way, and I was like, you know, well, you can't even say that
You
because
can't even say that because with the Black
unless you
mother,
had
you know what I'm
experience,
saying? She's not gonna send her
unless
daughter
you
out
had
there.
experience in the high schools these days. Listen, some of these kids in high school put together better than some of the adults I know. So.
Yeah.
Basically, that part I've seen from her. I'm like, oh, she looks
think-
good. Look at me.
Yeah,
Don't look at me. Actually,
kids
don't look at me.
snatched. They got on the brand new Jordans and the brand new iPhones, and listen,
I think they purposely plain Janed her and made her look basic because she was like in mom jeans and basic.
No, that's the style now.
It is, but but she would have had on Jordans. That's the style, but she would have had on some J's or something. She's something to sit out and say, "Oh, she's young," and nothing in her outfit, her clothing, and her hair made her.
Right.
It made her feel older.
That goes to not having Black people on the wardrobe team.
Yeah.
That's why she wasn't in Jordans.
Like, might get this girl some Jordan 1s or some Jordan 6s right now. She could have some Jordan 6s in her mom jeans.
I mean, yeah, the mom jeans are in because right now it's more comfortable for kids to have, which believe me, I understand because when I was in school, all my clothes were baggy. I look at pictures now, I'm like, what was I doing? Why didn't I?
Jumping.
Huh?
Gotta be like crisscrossing jumping.
I was wearing big baggy clothes and cross cut, like all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, but I remember freshman year. You could not tell me that was a female. That I was a female. Oh yeah, the shirt at the carnival.
Oh man, Rafa's shirt at the carnival. His whole outfit.
The whole outfit.
The whole outfit, yeah.
I was like, wow. He thought he was like, I'm not winning in this. I'm not winning.
But I thought that was a great episode in teaching about anger and your temper and the uncle really realizing the effect he was having on his nephew, you know, and not wanting to glorify that, not wanting to be the version of him that he now realizes his nephew saw. Which one was it that told him that, like, this is not a good look? Like, I don't like the way he's looking at you.
The uncle that was in the army.
Yeah. Like, this is not a good look for him.
Right. He was funny. I liked him.
I liked
I liked all of them, but I really liked the uncle that was in the army. As silly as he was, he had a lot of good things to say. He had a lot of wise things.
Okay, we're gonna put this in order. The order of the uncles. Okay, from the oldest to youngest. Jay the pragmatist.
Yeah.
Pragmatist.
Mondo the yogi.
Yeah.
The hardest yogi. Raleigh the wild one. Mike the soldier and Ryan the bank teller. What order do you put them in? What order do you put them in from your favorite to your least favorite?
Oh man. Okay, go ahead, Rakai.
I think my favorite is Raleigh. He said the wildest shit, like, and that was him. He was just wild. I liked Mike. I would have to say, even though he didn't say a lot, he had a lot of wisdom. So I'd say Mondo. And then Ryan, the youngest, the bank teller, and then Jay, the pragmatist, the one with the family.
Partner.
Which one is number one for you?
Raleigh, the wild.
Okay, got it.
The criminal.
Okay. Chuck, you going next or am I going next?
You can go. You can go ahead and go. I can go if you want me to go.
You go.
Okay, I thought about this. Mondo's my favorite.
Okay.
Mondo's my favorite. Just the way he cared about the family and how he didn't handhold anybody. Like, he was like, "Yo, y'all need to fix this shelf. You know, y'all broke the shelf. Drea told you to fix it. Y'all don't pay attention at all." And then they didn't realize each one of them had their own shelf. Now say after Mondo, I'm gonna say maybe Ryan. I like the bank teller because Ryan felt like he had something to prove, especially he was playing his nephew in the game. Yeah. Then I like X, and I would say Jay. I did like Jay. You know, I did like how Jay did things and what he does, and the on the roof. I thought the roof scene was amazing.
Yeah.
And then the last would be Mike the soldier. I thought when Mike went in the woods and they went to go with the backpacks in the woods and they got stuck out there with live fire.
When they was looking for Mondo.
Yeah.
The whole time Mondo's back at the house. Like,
chilling. Well, he had to go to the hospital.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So my order, kind of like you, Chuck, my order, I thought for me, Ryan is my number one because he did not disappoint with his comedy. I mean, they were all funny, but his was just like, it was smartly stupid. And he prided himself on being like the most educated because he finished his school. I mean, so he was my number one. Well, it's kind of tied between him and Jay. Like Jay's dry humor was just so clear cut, and just him on the roof, him with the food. Like, what are you doing? Like, it was just so like his voice is just like this. It never went up or down, but like in his delivery of the lines were perfection. I liked Mike again, kind of like his scene when he was all dressed up like he had been in the army, and then the scene when he was yelling at the kids in the bouncy house. They're trying to get, it was like the army day at the school. Oh my God, he was like, "You're dead." Oh God. Oh God. Then Mondo, because of that scene at the flea market, and then Raleigh.
Yeah.
See,
Oh
I
my
think
God.
I didn't see. I understand now why my list is different than y'all's. And my list is different because I thought, like, as far as the show, I can agree with both y'all's lists. But I thought about the list as who would I want to hang out with? Like Raleigh. I think being around Raleigh's dumbass, I would never stop laughing all day long. It's just like the shit that came out of his mouth and the shit he did. Like, is he for real? Like, he don't
but
even.
but you're gonna be spending a lot of money bailing him out of jail, so I can't be friends with him.
That's
I'm like, I can't be his friend.
That's on his sister. No, that ain't on me. That's on the brothers. No,
I'd hang out with, like, I would be work friends with Ryan. He would annoy the hell out of me. But when he was yelling at Paula on the back, like, "What are you doing?" I'm trying to steal my client.
And that's the only reason. And see, that's why Ryan hit later on my list, because Ryan would annoy me, and just like how Rafa and Ryan got into it, and Jay told him, he said, "I think I want to fight him." He said, "Go with that, go with that, father."
Yes, he did.
But like, I'm so competitive. I'd have been right there playing the ultimate game.
Ultimate
Oh
game.
my God, I never would have given up the ultimate board game.
It was
now that's facts. When they play Game Champ, and then he changed the rules just so he could win. Oh yeah, I feel that. I'd chase his ass down. Yes, I'd have fought Ryan.
That was
listen. I have beat a little kid and been like, "You win next time. Let's play again."
Yeah, I'd have fought
and then
Ryan.
they beat me, and I'm like, "We playing again. We ain't done yet."
Yeah, which episode stood out to you all? The episodes like, I love this show. What episodes makes you love this show? Is there one?
Probably the one.
Yeah, the cookout. The cookout. I said that. The cookout. Which one? I really liked the recruitment fair.
Yeah,
I really liked that one, and I liked what, like at the end, the last episode.
Yeah.
I'll say, to me, the cookout, probably the carnival, just because that was a time for Raleigh to kind of shine and then get some sense. For once, he had some sense in the whole damn series. He had some sense for a brief moment. Just like in the carnival, and that one when he went to jail, and he gave little buddy in the jail gave him the crossword, and then when he came back to jail, and dude was like, "I did it all," and Mike looked at it like, "Man, these are just all different kinds of weapons in this shit." He's like, "Hey," he said, "We don't judge results. We judge effort around here." I fell the hell out, and I was just like, you know what? You need somebody around you like that. Like it's not about did I get it right or wrong. I'm glad that you tried.
Yeah.
But especially how he saw, when Mike was right, and Rafa was like, "Hey, I need you to do your criminal shit." It's like, oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm not trying to be that guy anymore.
Yeah.
I like
At least not in your eyes. I may still keep doing it, but you can't ask me to do it because you need to be better. He did have a really good moment when he explained. Raleigh had a great scene. That scene when he explained to Rafa why Ryan was angry about about his diploma replacing his institute certificate. That was such a great scene. It was so well written, and it was so like just profound that Rafa got it.
I know it's one of those things like, when you hear wisdom from Raleigh, it's almost like you're like, wait, what the hell? No, we expect that from Mondo. We can expect that from Jay. Y- maybe moments of clarity might swing through on Mike, but to hear from Raleigh, really? Wow. So
The episode that stood out to me that I really liked was the candy bar episode.
That was a good
It
episode.
was like how Drea was like, Miguel, you are my son.
You're in the family.
You're in the family. Don't think because I'm mad at you that I don't love you. I'm doing this because I love you and I don't want to see you go down this path. And how Miguel just stood up and was like, "Yo, I'll take the fall for my boy." And Mondo knew something was going on.
Right, but he didn't know what he know. That was the fun part about it.
Yeah.
He was like, I really didn't know, but
Mondo shit. He just took Rafa on a walk and
back.
Let's go
right.
get chickens and and the whole time he's walking around barefoot because he can't find his damn
flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
And then Rafa finds them in the freezer or in the refrigerator at the end of the episode.
Yeah, that's a whole different kind of nasty.
Right. He wanted them, but he wanted them cold because it was hot outside.
Hot outside, yeah.
That shit is, one of the things that I really like in all of the episodes, the epilogue. Like right before the credits came on, it's almost like like they cut the episode and they came back for just 30 seconds for a minute to show you the little piece. I thought that those were so great.
They were.
It was almost like when Marvel movies does the cut scene, the end credits extra scene or whatever. That little epilogue in each one of those episodes was fantastic.
Yeah.
And Raleigh was trying to sell that damn leather, that piston leather.
Leather was awesome.
Oh, but I also really loved Drea. I really loved Christina Vidal. She did a wonderful job.
She killed it as mom.
Yeah.
Boyfriend around, and they went into the car and took the car apart.
And they destroyed his car. But then they messed up Gloria's car, like somebody else's car.
Yeah.
And when she asked when she asked Mike, said, "How bad is it?" He said, "It's not bad. It's bad. We tore that shit up."
I think we talk about this show at nauseum. How do y'all plan to rewrite the show? What's up?
Why did you give it a full meal? I don't think you told us.
Excellent question. Because I wondered that from the beginning of the show.
It may go up now.
No, I want your original reasoning.
I thought it was good, but I thought it kind of reminded me of other sitcoms a little bit. It fell into the bag of a lot of other sitcoms, like pieces from other sitcoms. I thought it was well written, and I thought it was well executed. But I just felt like, this is like traditional normal sitcoms. This is something I'm used to, and I would put it up against like Modern Family. And Modern Family to me is definitely a different type of show. But the writing in there is just so quirky and smart. And this
but it's like white people quirky and smart.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You know what I mean? Like other than Gloria, I don't really think they had ethnic friends.
They didn't. But I thought it was so quirky and weird, so silly. This was funny, more so than it was silly. And I guess at that time I was like, "Oh, I really do like this show. I really do. I want to see a second season." I liked how they end with this girl, like she's leaving. And he's like, "Damn, this is gonna be messed up."
I thought that scene with the letter was really lovely.
Yeah, I thought so too. And
because mostly kids don't write letters anymore.
They don't.
So
the fact he took the time to write it is impressive.
It's very impressive, and it was well thought out. It was very articulate too.
I thought Rafa could never fail in this as well, and I was kind of mad at how he did Miguel. Like he should have owned up to what happened.
He should have.
And I was like, and that's your homie. Your homie's doing it because he didn't want to tell on you.
Well, I think it's
like snitches get stitches, and he wasn't getting no stitches that day.
But it was all, I think it was deeper than that. Like it was also him like proving his place and worth value in Rafa's life, because he knows Rafa's probably going to like college somewhere away, you know what I mean? Like really rooting himself. And also it's what he needed to know that he was part of the family, whether Rafa was there or not. Like I think that element, that communal element, is the thing that you don't really see in white sitcoms. You see them parenting their own kids, and you know, maybe little Sally from next door come over and have a little tiff with little Jesse, and then all of a sudden, you know, they make it up and they tell, oh, come on back over, you're fine. But it's usually left to the kids to work out their own issues. Like this was beautiful because this is what happens in ethnic communities. You know what I mean? It's literally the village. And just because I'm not your mother doesn't mean that I don't see you and see that you need guidance. Yeah. And that's really important because that's something that I got from like my aunts, from like my mom's friends. If I was out cutting up and they saw me, you know what I mean? Like they wouldn't always tell on me, but they would tell me about myself.
I thought that was missing too, right? Like Rafa was a really good kid. Were really good kids, and I wish they had more happenstance with them. Like they had more issues, and the uncles it just spiraled further. I thought it was like it would hyperbole him something else. Like he did something wrong. The uncles tried to correct it, but their solution is not wrong because they did the same exact thing he did. Because they didn't quite have the proper father figure around. They had their mother and his mother and their mother, and she was always worked. So I was hoping that I see that hyperbole of like just shit happens, and I wanted more of it. But I thought he was the voice of reason. I thought Rafa was the voice of reason for most of his uncle's antics. Like they were the children in the room, and he was the adult.
But I think that's what made this show kind of special for me because we started off on this journey, and it's kind of like Courtney what just said on this is what happens in ethnic communities because even as special and as smart as Rafa is from the first episode, Rafa did not believe in himself. You know, the fact that, you know, somebody else believed in him and said, hey, you know, you're college material. And he had the hardest time getting over that. And it took all of the uncles and his mother and everyone else to make him see that he's worth it, that he was worth it. You know, even to the fact where, again, something that happens in ethnic communities where his first thought was that we can't afford it. You know, look at all the bills. Like, I can't think about going to college. Like, look, I need to stay here and do this and help the family because the family's always been here for me. That's what we are. We're about family. So I can't get selfish and think about me and going off and doing this. And he didn't realize that the reason that the family is all that is because we want the next generation to be better than us.
And we take care of you. Like if you think about the cyclical element of that whole episode, like her giving breakfast to the bus driver who ended up being her boyfriend, you know, then him giving her bus tickets, who she then gave to someone else for something else. So then it ended up getting his jacket. You know what I mean? Like that just shows like how they take care of each other in that community.
Yeah. I think
but not only that, there's something that's missing in the world these days. It's like we have, with social media and the advent of technology, we moved away from that type of community a lot of times. Like a lot of times people, and especially once you get a little bit of success, you move into a neighborhood, you don't even know any of your neighbors. You don't know anybody. You don't want to talk to anybody. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to my kids. We come here, we do what we do. I wave at you when I cut my grass, but you know, and that still showed community and the way things used to be.
I watched this on Instagram right before we came into this show where the little white kid came in and the dad was like, where you been at? And the little boy was like, I was 2 houses down eating barbecue. He's like, with who? We don't know those neighbors. Steaks out of the refrigerator because I was hungry. They were barbecuing. I took it down to them. We ate barbecue.
He said he took steaks out of his own refrigerator.
He said they was queuing. Let's all eat on the
Like, I
grill.
was throwing them steaks for dinner for us. He's already ate them. Ate my portion. I got
Hell
the
no.
rest of the meal.
Beat your ass.
Oh my God. But that is so funny
And then I
because
was like,
like
"Oh, you know those neighbors." He said, "I know them. I
but
brought them."
that's the thing is that little kids always do. Is
Yeah.
that I was always like, I know them people. And my mom was like, I don't know those people.
Uh-huh.
Like even right now, like I'd say where I live now, like I know I speak to more of my neighbors than anyone I have had in the last years that I've lived in California because it just wasn't something that I grew up with after I was a kid. After I got to be an adult, it was like, no, we don't know them people. Don't talk to those people. Okay. And then I just carried it on. Like, I don't know those people. I don't talk to those people. Why would I know those people?
Oh,
Like the whole borrowing a cup of sugar, that's what white people do.
Yep.
White people just go to the store and give them some sugar.
I know everybody in my building, and I know my neighbors on both sides of me. Because I've been
You're an OG in your building.
Yeah, exactly. You were there before all of them, probably.
I was.
But
I'm
somebody moving to your building, this is probably the first piece of advice. You guys got to meet Chuck.
Yeah, and Chuck should probably be, if Chuck cared to be the manager with the discounted rate, he could definitely be the manager with the discounted rate.
right. I
Yep.
could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that, but I'm not. But yeah, so I think y'all convinced me to move my rating up because I was like, yeah, I thought Rafa was too mature for this. I wish he was more silly and dumb. I wanted the sons from Modern Family. Like they were not mature, they were just so silly and stupid. But Rafa had his stuff together. Like he was too well put together for this.
No, but that's
Yeah.
because really he did have a village. He had a live-in village that put him together. He may not have had a father figure.
His
Uh,
mother was sharp.
his mother held it down, and she was a mother to all of her brothers. But not only that, it took them five brothers to equal one sane male adult in that damn house.
Yeah. I
Whole
mean,
different
that
people.
and
So,
I just feel like it's also like I grew up a lot older than I was a lot older emotionally and mentally than I was chronologically. Like I think as an ethnic kid, you experience more things that white kids don't. So
Yeah.
they do grow up slower. They do grow up in the kind of happy-go-lucky, like shiny, happy people kind of way. Whereas we got to remind people that Black Lives Matter. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think I think the ownership he took on his awareness was
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah.
well, and that's the thing too. It's like you said, Courtney. And most females are like that. They are chronologically might not be as old as what they seem. Their wisdom is years ahead of how old they are in real life, and that's what Maya was to this show. She
Mm-hmm.
was more older and wiser than them three knuckleheads. And
Yeah.
and that's what if you think that Rafa was well put together because of his family upbringing, the family that he had to help him every day put that together, even them five uncles are separate knuckleheads on their own. He still had, Henry and Miguel to be a knucklehead. The fact that they made a damn community skateboard and said, you know what, we're gonna all jump on this shit together and
And
ride
ride together.
that.
I expected more of that stuff. I wanted way more of that. That's who we were as kids. Like, how stupid can we be? What can we do today that can kill us?
Yeah. See, I'd have been the kid on the
These days
side
are
that was like,
different.
not today.
That's very boy.
But
That's
these kids these days are different too. You're talking about a time when these kids come up and shit. You got to damn near hold them at gunpoint to make them get out of the house.
Exactly. Like that was something like them not sitting in front of although I can not see his mother allowing him to sit in front of a PlayStation and just like zone his life away.
yeah.
That was something because like even like when my mom was like, no, you've been on the Nintendo long enough. Get out, go do something, go somewhere, find a book, play with a toy. I don't care. Not that one.
Yeah.
But today's people are like, here, take this iPad. Just go and sit with the iPad. Here's my phone. Okay.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
thought it was great to see the kids outside.
Yeah. So how are you gonna re-rate it?
Oh, I'm staying. I'm
For
staying
Kai?
strong because it was good.
Yeah, just like at the casino. I'm staying. I'm gonna stay on mine.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna come up to a binge worthy. Y'all convinced me. The show, everything about the show is really, 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 really good.
It
And
was your suggestion.
was my suggestion. I thought it was really, really, really good. And I started see, this is what happens when I start thinking about start nitpicking and I'm like, well, he was kind of mature. Maybe he should have been more immature. Maya made sense. Her dad was in the military, and the way she set him up was like, call him by their first name. They're like, oh, you call us by our first name?
Oh God, that was fantastic. And the mama was like, oh, we calling me by my first name. Like that is so Black families.
So, but
Like to this day, when I am a grown ass woman. To this day, when somebody introduces me to their mother and they're like, you can call me by my first name.
no, I won't.
Nah.
No, I won't.
It's so hard for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
my best friend, I've been friends with this woman for 20 years. And her mom, I'm like, oh, Miss Templin. She's like, you can call me Mary. Miss Mary.
Miss will be in front of it. Whatever.
Miss will be in front of it. I cannot call you by your name. I can't. Like even like growing up, like my family friends that were like family. Like I have an aunt, just Aunt Jen. Like I'm not gonna ever call her Geneva. I know her name is Geneva. I'm not gonna call her Geneva.
I hear you. So I guess we end the show with a full binge out. I'll tell everybody to watch this show. Prepare for season 2 because this show deserves a season 2. Let's hope the Amazon Prime doesn't move it over to Prime. So people that have Freevee, and that could be everything.
Yeah, I think that this deserves to stay on Freevee because it is for families, and without needing to pay for a streaming service.
Wasn't Freevee like ABC Family or something like that?
That's what somebody said, but this is Amazon though. I think Amazon Family is still. Is it now? Is that what Amazon? Because it was it turned into something else after Amazon or ABC Family.
I'm looking it up right now just to see what it was.
Freeform. It was Freeform.
Freeform. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
So ABC Family became Freeform. So I think Freeform is done.
No, they still have it.
Oh, they still have it? Okay. Yeah, ABC Family is Freeform. So Freevee is just Freevee.
Huh? They have it as a label, Freeform. So I think ABC, Disney kept all the labels. They use them on the proper shows. Like Freeform is like CW for Disney.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
Like
yeah, no, that makes sense. But I love the fact that it's a show that's kind of like a primetime show. But you don't have to pay for it.
Freevee is an Amazon product, but Freevee used to be IMDb TV.
Yes,
that's what it used to be. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because Amazon owns IMDb.
Got it.
To Freevee, which makes sense. They should keep it. I think they should keep it. With that being said, everybody, y'all have any last words you want to share with the people?
Nope.
No.
Good luck and what is it? Geek out and good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that being said, we gave the show a full binge out around the board. I went up. I sat on it too long. I think that's what it was. The first week I saw, I was like, this is a binge out. I think it's a binge out, and I just sat on it.
You recommended to us, and I watched it, and I was like, damn.
I know. I was hating it. Like I said in Geek Beast, I was so mad. I was like, I'm watching this. We don't do sitcom. I don't want to do a sitcom. Like, honestly, if I hadn't been sick and didn't have anything else to do, I'd have been like hating. So let me go ahead and watch this. Oh, this is funny.
The actual recommendation came from Rodney. Rodney recommended it.
Oh, okay. But you said you watched the episode. You didn't tell us Rodney until after you had already said you liked it and watched the episode.
I watched an episode. He said we should think about it. He said, look at it. He asked me to look at it. It was after one of the Geek Beast shows. And I went, after he made the recommendation, I saw it that night. And I was like, yes, this is the show you need to do.
Okay.
So it's so good.
Good looking out, Rodney.
Yeah. So Rodney actually made a recommendation.
Even though Chuck didn't tell us.
Randy said he can't hear us all. He's I can't hear you all. Is
You can't hear us?
he can't hear you, Rodney? I think
I got him just
Can you hear me now, Randy?
Randy got it on mute probably. I don't know.
Uh
Yeah. They can hear us, they can't hear you. Rodney said he's followed Shea since his career started at the Ringer. He's wrote books. His co-writer on the show, what's his name again, Rodney? I can say it. Jason Concepcion,
right.
right?
And then he always does like these family friendly um stories that
Oh,
really relate to his personal life, like in terms of like he has an African American wife, and coming from like this blended family, it is a really opportunity. It's like, honestly, that's like gold, because you're introduced to so much, so many things that you didn't necessarily experience in your own community and family.
mhm.
So
Yeah, Randy.
okay. Henry.
mm, Aw.
That's
Right. Like being that home that the kids can come and like hang out. You know what I mean? Like that was always my dream. I always wanted to be that parent.
mhm. What do you put on the scale, Rodney? What do you give it? Okay. It,
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
we do. Yeah.
And that there are wonderful things that can come out of our community that showcase our community, that don't involve violence or drugs or
Wrong.
prostitution, like some or dramatic, like, you know, kingpin stuff. Like, we just regular people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Regular people.
Not drug kingpins. Yes.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't make our millions on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
No one's
we just trying to pass trig.
Yeah, no one's dropping a mixtape.
Right.
It's so right now it's silent. But yeah, I agree.
We're done. We're
We're
silent.
gonna be done.
No, it's just people on the stream they couldn't hear Rodney.
Hear
So
Oh,
the whole
okay.
time talking they couldn't hear him. So
Oh,
when
okay.
it was silent.
Rodney gave a great exposition on everything. Reason why you should watch Primo. And if you haven't watched it in audience, we'll tell you now. Go watch Primo. We didn't spoil it too bad. Trust me. I tried.
No,
There's a lot of goodness in this show. Lots of goodness. Scene for scene, you're like, this is some fun. This is so funny. It's so silly. And it all makes sense. Like nothing's out of left field. It happens the way you expect it, but not expect it. And you're pleasantly surprised by like almost every
No, and it's just like anybody here on the stream, like they heard like snippets of scenes. Like you mentioned, but we didn't go into that whole roof scene. That shit was phenomenal. The roof scene, I mean, the whole game champ, the cookout. I mean, that was
so many.
Yes.
There's still so much to be mined.
Yeah.
Definitely go and check the show out. Give it some likes. It has like on IMDb, it's really hard to get a high rating on IMDb, but it has like an 8.2 right now because all the episodes are like 9s and high 8s, like 8.9, 8.6, you know what I mean? So like it's really beautiful to see a show with an entirely ethnic cast to be this revered, and I definitely think that they need a season 2.
Let me ask this right quick before we get out of here. Let me ask this real quick before we get out of here. Did you guys judge this show against other Latinx shows? Like, because I was just thinking about like others, you know, George Lopez, One Day at a Time, Hentified, on the Block, like a lot of other.
I didn't watch any of those.
So I did have it as a question, but I feel like
and I saw that, and that's what made me think of it.
This show's beyond those shows. I think this show is like the best
it's
thing.
Just different
on show. Like where I think like look at Ugly Betty, that was more of that's really like
OG sitcom.
sitcom.
And what else you have? You had Jane the Virgin on there.
Jane the Virgin, which is like
OG sitcom.
Yeah, it's like and One Day at a Time, which is like
still it's done on sets. Like that's like the Latinx version of the Fresh Prince or some shit like that. Like it's
version of the Jeffersons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though I did like that show, but yeah, this to me is not even in the same. Like I never thought of this show in terms of like I know it has a Latinx cast, but I never thought of the show like that.
I didn't either. I just thought of it as a show. Like it didn't.
Latinx cast.
Yeah,
exactly. It was a bonus to be able to see faces of color represented and stories that were positive influences on everyone. Like this is something that all families could watch and enjoy with their kids. You know, kind of like going back to that old school like TGI Friday, kind of like, you know, like just the cool things that kids do. Like for me, this show, it transitioned. You know what I mean? Like it translates to any family, not just Latin families or even Black families. Like it's just families. You know, I think that there's cool things in there to be represented, but I didn't see any. I saw a couple episodes of One Day at a Time. I have problems with reboots. I just want new stories. This is why I'm so excited to be able to get a show like this, which is a new story, you know? So down with reboots.
My daughter put me on to One Day at a Time because I had no idea, and she put me on. She loves that show. She put me onto it, and when I sat and watched a few of them, I was like, you know what? I like this. Like I remember the old One Day at a Time, and I remember watching it, but I never liked that show. So when I watched featuring a Latinx family, like I liked the new one. I mean, not in my top shows of all time, but I liked,
It was a
you know,
good
even though
traditional
the reboot,
sitcom. Like a,
you know, and like the list that you put out, where you asked us a question, the only one to me that it was kind of like Primo was On My Block. Like I liked that show.
I like that
Like
show.
On My Block is, you know, again, coming of age, you know, story of young teenagers, some YA mess.
Was
I
that on?
like,
That's on Netflix, right?
Netflix, yeah. It's
Yeah.
on
and
Netflix.
like even though they got the what is it's not a sequel, but what is it?
Yeah, they
The Wait
rebooted
Tree
it after the
Ridge.
actor Naya Rivera, after she passed. Like I think they tried to do one season without her.
But Naya Rivera was
Wasn't that the one she was in?
She's on
uh,
Glee.
No, I know she was on Glee, but she was
no
on that other. She was on. I
on my
thought she
block.
was on My Block.
She may have been. She
I think
may
she
have
was a
been.
teacher.
Yeah, that may have been. I think On My Block
Let
reminds
me
me.
look it up because I know she was in one of them that was on Netflix that they tried to reboot.
Yeah,
After she passed away because they didn't want to recast her.
yeah.
No, because they did several 3, 4 seasons of On My Block,
I
and
know.
then they did, you know, the next
Chapter.
series, Tree Ridge, with
Yeah,
the kids, and I didn't even finish that. I just
yeah, yeah.
it's
But I didn't want to corner this show into a Latinx show because it's just a family show. It's just a really good family show, and it just happened to be a Latin family. This is what the network is based on. Like we just make good shows. You don't have to call it a black show or a Latin show. This is just a really good show. I advise everybody to watch it. But
Mm-hmm.
and that the
Now you
Latin
got me. Now I need to find out. I'm like, because I know she was on some little show that had like dancing.
she was
what
on Step
goes
Up
out
High
this
Water.
show
Was it Step? What was it?
Step Up High Water. Some
Step Up. That's the one. Okay, I was so close.
yeah. So
ain't, wasn't Neo on that show too or some shit?
maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you were correct.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's like any of the other Latin shows. It was just a show about a Latin family. Just happened to be a Latin family. It's about five uncles raising a child with their sister who they cherish and love. Who ran the family with an iron fist. But it's such a good show. Um, I guess that's it, you guys. Shout out to Digital
Yeah.
for doing all our artwork for us. Shout out to the people in the chat. Thank you, Johnny Randolph and Mark, for joining us in the chat today. And please subscribe to the network if you're listening to us or you're watching it. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends to subscribe and your family. And watch Primo. Next week we're doing Silo. I haven't started it yet, so I gotta start
I
Silo.
haven't started yet either.
Yeah, I'm stuck on another show. So
You're stuck on a what?
I'm stuck on another show,
What show?
the preposition show that you're not gonna watch.
Oh yeah, I'm not watching that one. I started Secret Invasion, but I'm now gonna switch over to Silo because it's every week.
Yeah, Disney got to fix that. They got to fix
Yeah,
this every week stuff is not the bit.
It's not.
it's an old
Oh,
model. It's
yeah.
an old model, but all of the old the streaming services that are connected, like they all do that. Like, they're still stuck on that old model.
And I wonder what Disney's reasoning is because they gave us. I'm sorry, American Born Chinese gave us all the episodes on one day, and
Yeah.
they've already said that they plan to give us like all of Echo on day one or whatever, but they're going to draw us out for the next 6 weeks with this. Like
Yeah,
they could at least give us 2 episodes today of Secret
Yeah, they
Invasion.
should have given us 2 episodes.
they're trying
I
to.
thought that was really unfortunate.
I think they're learning. They're learning the things that is going to be done. Like for example, people are not going to subscribe week to week. They'll wait for all of it to drop, and then they'll subscribe
Yeah.
to all the shows. And what they're realizing now, people are not. They're like 2-3 seasons behind on Mandalorian. And when they
Yep.
subscribe, they watch it all in the 7-day free trial. You got 7 days, and they power right through it. We get the kids on vacation. It's summertime. Let's get Disney Plus and go through all the shows in one weekend. We
Yeah.
can't afford to travel to Disneyland or Disney World, but we can watch Disney Plus. It's cheaper than the movies. So it's gonna be interesting. But we
Is
are
all the stuff on does Hulu or Hulu Plus or whatever the hell, does it have all the same stuff that Disney has on it?
Mm-mm.
They have separate things.
No, yeah,
Complete.
they have a lot of like the shows that are adult, kind of like premium prime time. I mean, like 911 or 911 Lone Star, or like shows that are like crossovers from FX,
Mm.
or those kinds of things.
So, but like even though like even if you couldn't watch the current, you can go to like Hulu and watch season 1 of The Mandalorian, or
No,
it has on Disney. Oh,
Disney
okay.
It's a Disney Plus original.
Yeah,
Yes.
Disney Plus original. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like Hulu's like you get ABC shows and what's on Fox. That
yeah,
so you get like Bob's Burger and stuff like that. They do have some original. They do have some original content on there. It's usually under Freeform or it's under like FX or FXX, whatever they call it, whatever it.
yeah.
Yeah, like Legion and whatnot. But they're bringing all that stuff over to Disney Plus now too. They're bringing more adult content to Disney Plus because it's suffering. It's suffering as a service.
Yeah. If you only have Disney content on there for the most part.
Yeah, and most parents own all those movies anyway.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, obviously streaming is easier, but most of them still have the DVDs and the DVD player.
Got the DVD player in that kid's room right now with
Yeah.
old ass DVDs they bought for $3 from anywhere. Anywhere you can buy them for like $3.
Which, and then they have it, so they have it split up. So Disney stuff, Pixar stuff, Marvel stuff, Star Wars stuff, and then National Geographic. It's like,
Yeah. Well, they have to have National Geographic on. It's one of the
wow,
big draws to Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
really?
Yep.
Yeah, because people can just turn as animals.
Turn
There's
on.
nothing wrong with animals. Nothing they have to explain.
The,
You know what I mean? Bees
all day long.
pollinating flowers, and
Yep.
the sounds of nature.
I
Nobody.
feel that. I
Yeah.
mean, I could watch that. Was the
I hated that as a child, but there are children that like that.
whatever. I can watch that shit all day long, but
I used to watch
Nope.
me and
Not
Aaron
the kid.
watch National Geographic all day long.
Nope. I would be like, I'll go outside.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go anywhere. Let me find a book. Let me go and read the dictionary.
nah, when they had, because whoever the photographers for National Geographic be so on point, and they be zoomed up way close on shit you're not supposed to see that close. They be all in
Be
the
all
snow fox's mouth and stuff, and he's only seen once every 17 years or some shit, and they got up close facials
Well,
on
he
him.
won't see me now. That was me.
And then it'd be voiced by what's her name, Attenborough, old dude from Jurassic Park. Shit, and it's like, yeah, that shit's great.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, you guys, I think we're gonna close our show. We've been going on about everything but
Nonsense. Yeah,
Said goodbye
exactly.
a while ago.
yeah. Thank you all for tuning in again, and we'll see you next week when we're covering Silo.
All right.
All right, then. Peace out, everybody. Thanks, Digital
Bye.
Rodney.